The Irish Rovers, Black Velvet Band.
Her eyes they shone like diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the
I love
land.
Irish music.
And her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band.
So it's great to hear from the Irish Rovers and the Black Velvet Band. That's one of the best versions I've run across. Except for, I played in an Irish band in San Francisco for quite a few years. And we were like the favorite Irish band. There was a circuit. There was the Blarnystone on Upper Geary Street, and I'm going to tell you about that as part of our story. Then there's the Abbey Tavern right back here, close to the oncoming from the Golden Gate Bridge, and they're plowing the start. There's a few more, and we would play them all, and we'd play more. We were very successful. None of us were Irish. Our lead player was a marvel. He liked country music and Irish music and would begrudgingly learn a rock and roll song if, you know. It's probably pretty corny rock and roll song if he chose it. Anyway, so none of us were Irish, but this gentleman who headed the band, he could do everything. He could sing. He could play the penny whistle, what they call it. He could play violin. And he could play guitar, of course. And if I left something out, well, there you go. And he was an excellent vocalist. Plus, we had a guitar player. Was he playing bass? I guess he was playing bass. You'd never know. We didn't miss anything. We sounded great, man. Then there was me on drums. And, you know, the thing about Irish music, it's got so much going for it because the Irish come from, you know, hating the British. Famine, the potato famine. Coming over here and missing your family. And there's just so much room for pathos and emotionally related tunes. And that hits you right in the heart. I left out love and the tragedies of love because you came here and she stayed there, you know, like that. Oh yeah, love's got lots of little pathos, paths to it. Anyway, this is the story of the barroom brawl. Try it again. The barroom brawl at the Blarnystone. Up the Irish. Now, we played all the time, you know, 3 or 4 times a week because we were this popular band and there was lots of Irish pubs right in our neighborhood, man. And we played at the Blarnystone, and the thing about the Blarnystone is kind of like the Pink Elephant Bar. As you walk in the door, you immediately see on the stage right to your right, that's where the stage is, almost behind you before you even step in the door. Then there's the end of the bar, where am I? There's the end of the bar, two steps in, and that bar proceeds to head straight back, way back to the end of the building. And this is a long, skinny bar. So that means that you got room for the person on the bar stool, and you've got room for one person at a time to pass behind you or 2 people to squeeze by each other. That's how little space there was. It was a long bar, but it's very confined as far as right here goes. And they were able to put a couple tables in right as you came in the front door, and there was the band on your right. Well, that broke away from the bar a little bit, so they had a couple tables there even, and a bench that went way down by the wall. So you could find seating even if you weren't at the bar, and it was great acoustics. You know, the way that little place, it only took a couple people to start soaking up the extra noise and just made a heavenly sound in there. And we were quite the regulars. And, hold on. Thanks. There's a social function that happens with the Irish every once in a while. Not with everyone you meet, but the way it goes is you meet some young buck Irish person, or maybe old, I don't know. For my experience was just graduated high school type age. And the thing about the Irish is, if they get it in their mind, they don't like you, and they'll just, pick a fight with you, and until you fight back and beat the hell out of them, then they love you. It's just one of the little oddities that exists in the Irish social circle. It's not always like that, but it crops up once in a while. And so in lies our story. We've been playing on this little bandstand all night long, and it's time to get off the band and get our last drink. And so the room left over for us to get to the bar is right when you walk in the door, and there's that edge of the bar before it heads on down. That's where we had found entry to the bar. And we're drinking as fast as we could because it's getting near 2 a.m. And there happens to be this young Irish gentleman jerk who all the way down at the other end of the bar, and it finally, I think, turns off at the far end too, so they can get into the storeroom and something. But it's a very long bar, and so he's all the way at the other end of the bar. It's 1:30 in the morning. We're getting our drinks, and he starts calling me shit, calling me faggot and stuff. Really? Well, I shined him on, and he kept it up until I just ran for him. But what he knew was that there's a whole bar full of people in between us. Nobody let us two get together. They weren't going to have that happen. They've seen this routine many times before. It's an Irish bar. You know what I'm saying? So we couldn't settle matters that night. But I couldn't get it out of my head the way that this guy had picked me out and decided he was going to pick on me because he knew I couldn't get to him. So all I ever thought about day and night was what I was going to do to him. I was going to hit him in the stomach, and when he came down, I was going to karate chop him down. I was going to kick him back up. I had a whole routine based on my theoretical reaction to physical impacts. And he didn't come around for a couple weeks. I expected that because there's other Irish bars, but your Irish bar circuit is not filled. You can't check it off your Irish bar certificate unless you go to the Blarnystone once in a while. So he had to come in. And a couple of weeks later, he came in. And I'm on the stage, and the front door is right there. And he comes up to the bar, goes down the bar, and his face never left my sight. And we were still playing different songs, and I just never let loose of seeing where he was. Ice cream. Now, unfortunately for this young Irish gentleman, sets in bars are generally 45 minutes and then 15 minutes off. Well, he happened to unknowingly come right up by the stage and then out the exit door, and he didn't realize that our set ended right then, and I was off those drums, and I was out on the sidewalk, and I started hitting this son of a bitch. And he said, "Who the hell are you?" And so he was quickly followed by a group of about 5 or 6 other Irish gentlemen, and they said, "What's going on?" And he says, "He roundhoused me, man," and whiner. And so everybody piles on top of me. They're somehow kind of holding me down, and they're all, trying to sock up toward me when I'm down like this, and they're on top of me, and they can't get very good hits. So It's a very odd place, but this often happens where you would think that it would be panicky, but it all became very calm as they continued to try to hit me, but, nothing was going on. And I said, well, stupid, what should you do now? Think about it. And I realized that the person I was after was right in front of me. My head was in his stomach. You see what I mean? And all the other people were around the sides and the back. So I realized all I had to do was run forward. And this son of a bitch was going with me, only he was going backwards. And it was only a couple steps before he fell down with his head on the pavement. And I came up and I got his head and I'm ramming it into the pavement. He said, who the hell are you? What is this? I don't even know you. And I said, I'm the fucking faggot, you motherfucker. And from that time on, he was very friendly to me. Like I say, it's a little Irish deal that, happens sometimes. Hey, a little graphic, but I got to tell you the story. He never bothered me again. Oh, did we just miss him? Oh, darn it. Well, let's get the Irish Rovers once again to take us out with Black Velvet Band, baby. Love this song. Hey.
Her eyes they shone like the diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band.
That's right, baby.
In a neat little town they call Belfast,
See ya.
apprentice to trade I was bound, and many an hour